What's up, Family Liberty? Drill Sergeant, a.k.a. Admin Doug here, and you thought for sure I was just going to let Big Sarge take all the fun while he's talking about these absolute science-denying, low IQ, micro-dick, bullshit, fuckface, MAGA idiots that would rather come up with conspiracy theaters than address climate change. He's right. But in other authoritarian micro-penis news, yesterday morning at MacArthur Park in L.A., a flock of fake-ass, pussy-ass rent-a-cops, otherwise known as Border Patrol, played dress-up with each other. And they just trampled an entire park full of really pretty, really well-cut grass. The poor grass. Will somebody save the grass, please? And for what? Why did they do this? For no reason. Well, none other than, of course, to stroke their own egos, but to stroke each other's egos, because Lord knows their wives stopped stroking anything on them years ago. They had armored vehicles. They played dress up like the soldiers that they could never actually be, because they were too scared to go through actual boot camp. Basic training is what it's called. And they would all run home crying to their mommies if they would ever see a motherfucker like Drill Sergeant with a war face peering underneath the shadow of a crisp-ass round brown. And a knife hand straight as fuck. Huh? It's coming to instruct them on the skills and the mental discipline necessary to be a real soldier. They're all pussies, what I'm saying. All of them. And it don't even taste good. Now that we've understood, and now that you understand exactly who we're talking about, these plastic Ken dolls playing dress up like they're real soldiers, crushing grass that's pretty and beautiful for no reason, because no one else was there at the park. Now that we know, I'm gonna let you watch this, and we'll talk about the important parts of this story.
MacArthur Park becomes the latest scene of a massive presence of immigration enforcement agents, heavily armed federal agents on horseback in military vehicles descending onto that park.
This time things ended differently than we've seen in the past. Fox 11's Laura Diaz live in downtown LA with more on what happened out there today. Laura.
Yes, the big question tonight is, what was the purpose of the show of force? We can tell you that there were not that many people present in the park when that raid took place. And unlike other raids, advance word leaked out. Fox 11 was on the ground and up in the air.
This is an overreach of your authority.
By 11:10, there was tanks and all this. They got tanks all through here. They got the white vans. They got the trucks. They got all this shit out.
About 10:30 Monday morning, heavily armored Border Patrol officers with a fleet of vehicles and some on horseback descended on MacArthur Park. This is the heart of the immigrant community, just 2 miles from downtown LA. Sky Fox was overhead as the operation kicked in. Our Fox 11 photographer, Sam Dubin, on the ground, recording the dramatic scene. Immigration agents in military green carrying rifles. Neighbors and community activists rushed to the park, challenging those in the action. Children were scurried from the urban park.
The military pointed their guns at us and they were screaming at us, cursing to get the out of there.
Among those arriving on the scene was LA Mayor Karen Bass, flanked by security and in a crush of people pushing for the operation to end. Our camera caught her on the phone, pleading with officials to stop.
Getting ready to leave? Okay, please, can you leave ASAP?
My comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Soon after, the operation ended, reportedly with not one undocumented person taken into custody. A couple of hours later, a news conference was called at LA City Hall with the mayor surrounded by community activists and city council members denouncing the raid. Fox News spoke exclusively with Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bavino, who had tough words for Bass.
The federal government is not leaving LA. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
Yes. Number one, we've got to talk about the over-militarization of our law enforcement. These aren't soldiers. They're Ken dolls that couldn't pass police academy. And so they joined Border Control. Do you remember when all you got was an SUV and some red and blue sirens on the top of your car? That's what Border Patrol is for. That's what it's for. You want to say, yeah, okay, maybe they should use drones. I hear you. But what point did it become necessary to have armored vehicles, BDUs, M16s, or other closely related weaponry? At what point did it become okay and necessary to have combat issue helmets for border control? It's not. They're playing with toys. They're playing with toys. You see, what happens is when you live in a country where all of the weapons manufacturers that the best in the world all happen to make the weapons here, they need people to buy more shit. And this has trickled down to your neighborhood police officers. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that the SWAT team no longer is in a armored SUV, but they're in a goddamn roving tank with 6 wheels on it and armor shaped like a stealth fighter? For what? When is the last time you saw a drug dealer in your neighborhood that could also detect radar? What are we doing? We're over-militarizing our law enforcement, and this is the end result. Point 2 is because they're over-militarized, because they have these trinkets that they don't know how to use or deploy, they need somewhere to use them. So like all great authoritarian micro-penises do, they are now just showing force for the sake of being intimidating alone. That's it, to intimidate the masses. All of them are using these armor-plated vehicles, these really long, scary-looking guns, weapons, firearms, as a way to cover up their micro-penis. Instead of buying a nice car or a big house, this is how they play I'm a big dick on the weekends. And when you have that much firepower just being handed out like candy on Halloween to low-esteem cowards who think hunting down immigrants, scared civilians, women, children is somehow a sign of their power, and you give them that candy, they will use it. Even on an empty fucking park, there's no one there. Tough guys, all of them mounting their horses, crushing that beautifully cut grass that was so beautiful, it was pretty, aesthetically pleasing, until they got there to ruin it. And all they did was ruin the grass.
My comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Soon after, the operation ended, reportedly with not one undocumented person taken into custody. Homeland Security would not confirm or deny if they arrested anyone today. What I can tell you with certainty is that Fox 11 was over the scene in MacArthur Park for an entire hour. During that time, we did not witness anyone get arrested.
For the sole purpose of intimidating the masses, you and me, the civilians. I'll tell you what, I'm not intimidated. I don't give a fuck. You pussy, all of you. Because if you followed that order, you're a pussy too. You fake ass, I couldn't make it to the real military punk ass bitch. Come find us then. Bring the horse here. No, what you do is you go to people who have no power, who have no weapons, who can offer you no pushback, and you trample their grass. That's what you did. And then at the end of it, he said this, people.
The federal government is not leaving LA. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
He's calling for you to get used to it. What is your response?
I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to get used to it because last I checked, I was elected to be mayor of the city. That did not include a federal takeover.
And this is the most important part of what I got to say here. So allow me to say it as clearly as possible. Anytime the government roams on your streets with armored vehicles, weapons, and camouflage gear in the middle of daylight on fucking concrete, and tells you you better get used to it, that is the moment that you rise up. We're no longer pussyfooting around. I will not get used to it. I will not get used to armored vehicles, weapons, and people cosplaying as military personnel on my streets for no reason. I am not intimidated. We will not get used to it. Take a lesson from the Haitians. There's two ways to fight back. One of them is psychological warfare. We laugh at you. Oh, that's important. Laughing, showing no signs of intimidation, no outward distress, signs of joy, loud music, bullhorns, dancing, tee-hee-ha-ha. Yes, it's important. I've seen it work in many different arenas. Do not poo-poo on psychological warfare. These people get off on seeing people scared. But if you're dancing, if you're playing organized group games with a lot of people, a lot of noise with your bullhorn, and great music, dancing, organizing to show joy, it sounds weird. It really works. That's one way. Psychological warfare is one way. Then maybe those pussy-ass motherfuckers that can't say no will start to fall back just a little bit, start to rethink what they're doing. It works. I've seen it. But now we're also at the point where we may need some physical confrontation. I said it. And if you need to know what that means, ask the Haitians in New York. We are millions. There are 1,000 Ken dolls dressed up like army people, army things, toys, being used as such by their commanders and their bosses. There are millions of us. Now, I can't tell you what to do, America. This is not sanctioned by the rest of the admin team, Sons of Liberty, but there are millions of us, and I will not get used to it. Next time we organize, we will have a peaceful organization, but there's another organization that needs to be happening, is when we see jackbooted thugs running around the neighborhood, trying to get us used to it. We have somebody and a bunch of somebodies who can come out and stand in a line together. There should be neighborhoods rushing to the site to stand together. There are millions of us, and I will not get used to it. I said it. Start organizing now. I am. That's what I say. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, all the way to the end without giving up, right down there in the comment section, you put, I will not get used to it, drill sergeant. And you know what fucking time it is.
And now it's time for the throw punch!